fuel our economy. Hosting events in Rapid City means out-of-town families shop, dine, and stay with us, which boosts sales tax revenues too. To get in on the action, visit rcsportscommission.com, where we're all about the hustle.
Where can you get surprisingly great rates on auto and renter's insurance? At State Farm. I'm State Farm Agent Matt McCormick, and I'm your one-stop shop in Rapid City for protecting your car and your stuff for surprisingly great rates. So stop looking around. Call me, State Farm Agent Matt McCormick, for surprisingly great auto and renter's rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Get away from it all in the great outdoors for lasting family memories with a new or pre-owned RV from Dakota Discount RV. We make your RV experience fun and easy by providing you with a quality recreational vehicle, competitive pricing, and professional sales and service. Our large inventory of fifth-wheelers, travel trailers, toy haulers, and live-in horse trailers allows us to save our customers thousands of dollars compared to most dealers. Stop by and see us at Dakota Discount RV, 3330 East Mall Drive across from Cabela's and on JB Road, Blackhawk.
Ever dreamed of building something amazing? Builders First Source in Rapid City, Spearfish, and Hot Springs is your go-to building materials partner. Whether you're building new or giving new life to an old space, we provide step-by-step guidance from drafting and cabinetry design to lifelike visualization and top-quality materials. It's your vision, and we're here to make it real. Visit BLDR.com. Builders First Source, your Black Hills partner in building every step of the way.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
As Oklahoma City Thunder guard Shai Gilgeous-Alexander will reportedly be named the NBA's most valuable player, ESPN saying that SGA will be tabbed as the league's MVP. He'd be the third Thunder player to receive the honor after Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook, but Shai Gilgeous-Alexander set to be the NBA's most valuable player. Tonight in the NBA, it's Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals, Pacers and Knicks, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. On the ice, Game 1 of the Western Finals between the Oilers and Stars in Dallas. That's also at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Tennessee Titans quarterback Cam Ward has signed his rookie deal, 4 years, fully guaranteed, $48.75 million for the first overall pick. The tush push is sticking around. It will still be legal in 2025. Not enough votes to ban the play. Day baseball, Cubs beat the Marlins 2-1. Tigers down the Cardinals 5-1.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, welcome in. We're ready to go on this Wednesday. How are you? Thanks for being here. The Nate Brown Show is back and ready. It is South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Let's bring some heat tonight. Let's get after it tonight. Thought-provoking sports talk. It is always a great day in South Dakota. We know that. Let's get going here. South Dakota Sports Talk Show on Fox Sports Radio. Also, if you want to stream us, you can on X. Find us there at Nate Brown Show. Find us on X at Nate Brown Show and on YouTube, The Nate Brown Show. So a lot of ways you can listen or watch to the program. Welcome in. Wednesday show looks great. Some great guests across the board. We got national, regional, local. Let's get going tonight. Hey, let's look at the guest lineup on this Wednesday. Clinton Yates is going to join us. My friend Clinton Yates, he's been a great broadcaster. We go back a long way to a show called The George Michael Sports Machine. Do you guys remember this? The George Michael Sports Machine, Sunday night, NBC. Used to work on that show with Clinton Yates. Now he went the other way. He went to ESPN. Clinton Yates has been on Around the Horn for a long time, and that's a show I've loved. Around the Horn is wrapping up its 23-year run this Friday, and Clinton Yates from ESPN joining me live tonight. Talk about Around the Horn and more. Great guest, Clinton Yates, coming up from Los Angeles. We'll go out to Buffalo, talk to NFL writer Ryan O'Halloran tonight. He covers the Bills and the NFL. Some news with the Bills tonight. And some bigger news with the NFL today from the owner meetings. Ryan O'Halloran, his take coming up from the Buffalo News, NFL writer. We'll go to Indianapolis. Our old friend Brian Henson is on. Former Sioux Falls Argus leader writer, now with the Indy Star. Brian Henson covering the Fever and Indianapolis sports scene for the Indy Star. Brian Henson joining us live straight ahead from Indy. And NBA national analyst Keith Smith talking NBA conference finals. Keith Smith with Spot Track and front office show. Keith Smith is in. Packed guest lineup, really solid stuff from the guests. Well, I guess we'll wait and see, but solid guest lineup to start on the Nate Brown Show. Let's get you on. 605-720-1067 is the number. It's the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline, powered by the Pizza Ranch. Remember, some locations here, 3809 East 10th Street, East Sioux Falls, Pizza Ranch tonight. Also in Brandon, and 2 locations in Rapid City. Stop by everyone's favorite buffet. It is your locally owned and operated Pizza Ranch. And the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline, 605-720-1067. Join the show there. Also, one more text line. You can get in on the Barron's Wilson text line. Appreciate the feedback. 605-720-1067. Same number, and you can text the show on the Barron's Wilson text line. All right, 2 things to cover tonight. To start the show, we got a lot to cover, but 2 things to cover. Everybody's going crazy about last night's game 1 of the Wolves and OKC. So I'm just gonna break it down. Just 3 things. I kind of know a little about basketball. I'm not an expert. People have told me that, believe me. But I'm not an expert. But I know a little about basketball. I go way back. There's things you need to do in basketball games. That's make shots. And in the NBA, you really need to make shots. So we got everybody freaking out here today on the national media side. Oh, the Wolves, this is a mismatch. I heard people this morning, this might be over. This might be over? When the Wolves shot 34% from the field? 34% from the field. You just aren't going to win an NBA game like that. You're probably not going to win a high school game like that. So let's just take it easy here. Everybody's just lost their mind on the Wolves losing last night. And I'm just like, it's really easy to figure out basketball. You make shots, and especially in the NBA with the high efficiency shooting that is happening this day and age, you're not going to win at 34% from the field. That's unheard of. That is absolutely unheard of. 29% from three-point range. They shot 51 threes, maybe pulled back a touch, but Naz Reid couldn't throw it into the ocean. He couldn't throw it in. So forget it. It's not over. It's not a panic. It's not crazy. I just can't believe, guys, they come on radio shows. They come on the debate shows, and maybe they just have to do it. I don't know what it is, but this is unbelievable. It's a mismatch. This is over. This is outrageous. This is crazy. It was a bad game for the Wolves. I mean, if you guys watched it, I watched it last night. It was a bad game, and yet they were still in it midway through the third, kind of. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they were still in it even midway through the third. I'd say late third, actually. I don't know. I think they were only down, what did I see, 9 in the fourth quarter even. So, I mean, it wasn't as crazy as people thought. Let's just take it easy. The Wolves lose game 1. They're going to get a game 2 tomorrow. They're going to come back to Minnesota. Everybody just relax. I know that's not sports talk radio, but let's relax. It was bad shooting, a bad game. That's it. There's no other explanation. There's mismatches. It's a bad matchup. It's that OKC's deeper. OKC's better on defense. Just relax. No wonder they got beat down to the fourth quarter. 34% from the field, 29% from 3, 19 turnovers. I mean, this isn't high school basketball. Take care of the ball. So again, bad across the board. Bad across the board, but the Wolves aren't bad. That's the difference. So they'll turn that around, and I think game 2 is going to be really good tomorrow, okay? So that's it. I mean, it's you don't have to make it that hard, and you don't have to be that dramatic. This is over. I heard people say that this morning. This is over. This is a 7-game series. It's fine. One more thing on the OKC thing. So Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, my daughter's a big fan. Don't ask me why. She's like rooting for OKC. I think she's just trying to bother me. I don't know what it is. She likes SGA, the way he plays. I don't know. And I think she's just trying to root against me. But nonetheless, she likes SGA, so now she's going to be excited. He's the MVP. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the MVP. From my basketball standpoint, are you trying to tell me that SGA is better than Nikola Jokic? I mean, I think, I guess we don't want to give it to Jokic every year, but he had another MVP season, and if you look at the way he played, and especially how OKC couldn't handle him, they couldn't handle him at all. I'll take Nikola Jokic every day, all day, over SGA. I mean, it's not even close. So I maybe it's just one of the, we feel bad. We can't do Jokic every year. We got to mix it up. So there's some of that. I'll just give that to the voters. A little bit of, let's mix it up. I think it's a let's mix it up. It can't be Jokic is the best player in the NBA. It's not really close today. I mean, that's just, I like Anthony Edwards. I understand all these guys. Jokic is the best player from his skill, his efficiency, his size, the passing, the knowledge. I mean, it's just, he is the best player. He had an MVP season. Again, he carried the Nuggets. There was nobody else. The Nuggets don't really have anybody else. And he carried him into a Game 7 against OKC. So, great for SGA. It's fine. He's had a nice year, big year. Nikola Jokic is my MVP. He's the best player, and I think we can all agree that that's pretty accurate, right? Jokic versus SGA. Who do you want as the MVP? Who's the real player? It's Jokic. And the Wolves aren't as bad as they were yesterday. They'll be fine, and Jokic is the MVP. There's my NBA take to start the Wednesday show. Now, let's get into a old man yelling at the clouds rant. Were you expecting that tonight? It's not going to get too bad. Don't worry. It's not going to get too heated here. But I got to look at this vote that they did in Minneapolis today. We got to look at this vote they did in Minneapolis for the tush push. And let's revisit history here a little bit. There were owners that were voting on this in April when the Packers introduced it. There were 16 owners that said to ban it. So that's not near enough. You need 24. There were 16 in April that said ban it. They tabled it, and then they went into today, according to all the reporting, is saying the NFL owners were probably going to ban this. They were going to get to 24 owners to do it. Out of the 32, you need 24 out of the 32 to ban this thing. And the reporting was, I think they're going to get there. The Eagles went into the meeting today. They gave their speech. They did the whole thing. It got a little heated, according to reports. You can read all this stuff this afternoon. I find it interesting, the dynamics at play. Whenever you got power brokers in the same room, you can't agree on anything. And with this one, it got heated. And the Eagles left the room today saying, that's probably going to go down. We're probably going to get this banned. Yet there were these teams that stepped in, and for some reason, there were a lot of bottom-tier teams that decided to not ban the tush push, and it was just enough of them that it allowed the NFL to keep the tush push in play for 2025. And I'm just going to tell you, it's my final statement. Can I make that call tonight? Can I promise it's my final statement tonight? I'm not so sure. I don't like backtracking on stuff. This may have to come up again. I don't want it to come up anymore. This is the final statement. The tush push is an unfair advantage for the offense. The play was not appropriate. Going back all the way up to 2005, you cannot assist the runner pushing guys from behind, having the 4 offensive linemen attack the line of scrimmage. It's really 6 against 4 how the Eagles are doing it, with unbelievable momentum and force from behind and the timing of the cadence, because they know it. So people love saying, just stop it, get tough, stop it. You can't, because you don't know the cadence. You don't know the situation. You can't have the linebackers push each other to make the tackle. They push the ball carrier. Jalen Hurts is really, really strong. That's part of it. He squats like 600 pounds. So it all goes hand in hand. I understand. But the play is a huge advantage for the offense in a league that already sets the offense up in unfair advantages. The defense can't do anything. I mean, zero. And now we're leaving it up to, we do another unfair advantage for the offense, and we push players over the line, and we push them down the field. That was illegal in the NFL up until 2005. Why was it illegal before? Why did we all of a sudden think that we can push ball carriers down the field now? So I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Thanks for calling. You're live, and you go ahead.
Hey, Nate, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. What's your thought on this?
Well, why aren't they also banning assisting the runner in other situations besides the tush push? That's just as unfair to me as the tush push. It happens a lot more often where runners are getting pushed by other linemen in other situations other than a center snap. Like a runner's got a forward momentum, and another lineman comes and pushes them, or several linemen push them from behind and push them down 2, 3, 4 more yards. That's just as egregious to me.
No, it is.
Or more so than the tush push.
And actually, that was a part of this. That was a part of this today. That was a part of this today. They were trying to say, we're going to ban all of this, advance in the runner, the tush push, and the running back that's down the field. So I wanted to ban it all.
Yeah. I didn't hear that about the other part.
Yes.
Was just, okay. Well, I'm in agreement then. Ban all of it. Helping the runner, period.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't get why people like the play. I just don't get it.
No.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you. Thanks for getting on. I don't know the argument for it. I don't know the argument for it. It's an unfair advantage with players pushing each other with the momentum from behind. You outnumber the players in the trenches, and you just have this push momentum, and the defense cannot stop it. They can't time the cadence. They can't match up. And so that's what it is. The cadence allows the forward progress to start. That's a rugby scrum where only one team gets the advantage of knowing the timing. And it's a rugby scrum with more players on one side than the other. Say, what do you mean? You can stack the No, it's you have the 4 down linemen. Those are the key players if you watch this thing. And if they get demolished by the 6 players that are coming, 4 offensive linemen and the tight end and the running back behind Jalen Hurts and whoever it is, it's over. So I have this question, by the way. What should get banned first? Or what should change first? I'm going to bring this to South Dakota sports. What should change first? The tush push or South Dakota high school football classes being reduced? From 7 down to, can we go to 6? What's going to change first? What should change first? My question of the day, a little fun spin-off of the tush push complaint that I have. This is just a terrible play, and we're going to keep it going. And by the way, everybody's forgetting they had 22 teams vote against this. I mean, so more teams wanted to ban it, including my Broncos, including your Vikings, including your Packers, including your Cowboys, whoever it is. You know who wanted to keep this thing alive? You know who wanted to keep this thing alive? The Browns, the Jets, the Jaguars, the Saints, the Patriots, the Titans, the Dolphins. What is that a coincidence? What I mean, Jags, Browns, Jets, Saints, Titans, Dolphins, Patriots. It's like, huh? The only couple of good teams in there that wanted to keep it going, the Ravens and the Lions. And you know why Dan Campbell does this type of stuff, right? Dan wants to bite kneecaps off. He thinks he can bite their kneecaps so they can't do the tush push. Just get tougher. That's Dan's motto. Dan, you're a tough guy. It didn't work out for you this past year, but you're a tough guy. I understand, Dan. The problem is it's an unfair football play. Totally. Not even close. Okay? Is that my final statement? Can I make it my final statement? I'm very passionate about it. I hate the play. It's a dumb play. It's an unfair advantage. You got all these bottom-tier teams voted to keep it in. Something not quite right. My Broncos said get it out. Vikings said get it out. Probably 22 teams did. We fell short by 2 because the Browns and the Jets decided we're going to keep this going. Thanks a lot. Coming right back with Ryan O'Halloran covers the Bills. They voted to ban it. And the Bills get a headline today. We're going to see more of the Buffalo Bills. He covers the Bills in the NFL. Buffalo News. Ryan O'Halloran next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Yeah, can I get the taco burger value combo? That's a value? I know it's a taco and a burger, but come on. Yeah, I can find a better value right across the street. No, not at the bait shop, at the gas station. I can get a South Dakota Lottery scratch game for as little as $1. You can actually win thousands of dollars. Almost enough to eat here.
Good fun. Must be 18 to play. Please play responsibly.
Get ready for summer. It's the Memorial Day sale through June 2nd at Splash City. Create your summer retreat in your backyard with a hot tub or a swim spa, or heat up with an infrared sauna for as little as $99 a month from the leading brands in the market. Jacuzzi, American Whirlpool, or Sundance. Get 0% financing and save up to $5,000 in factory rebates. Enjoy the summer ahead and save during the Memorial Day sale through June 2nd at the area's #1 summer fun spot, Splash City. Sioux Falls, Sioux City, and Rapid City.
Attention, Rapid City. More big news from Gateway Autoplex. We are expanding our services with our brand new state-of-the-art auto repair shop located right behind our lot, 123 Omaha Street. Gateway Tire and Alignment. That's right, Rapid City. We're now your one-stop shop for everything auto-related. From routine maintenance to major repairs, our team of expert technicians has you covered. Plus, with our state-of-the-art equipment, you can trust that your vehicle is in the best possible hands. Visit Gateway Tire and Alignment and see why nobody beats a Gateway deal.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Chance for storms this afternoon. Otherwise, cloudy skies with a few peaks of sun. High temperatures reach up to 63. Northwest winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Clear skies tonight. Slight chance of rain showers. Lows dip down to about 39. Highs around 65. Tomorrow, lots of sunshine. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently 50.
Get set for a night of non-stop laughs as the Box Elder Event Center welcomes comedian Michael Palisak.
When I was in college, my parents relocated to Chicago, and I found them.
After being a finalist on Last Comic Standing and appearances on Stephen Colbert and Conan, he's coming to Rapid City Saturday, May 31st.
The closest thing we have to a gang is the Future Farmers of America.
Advance tickets are just $20 at the Box.Live. Don't miss Michael Palisak at the Box Elder Event Center, Saturday, May 31st.
Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is everywhere you need us to be. On the sidelines, supporting our local athletes, at our clinic locations throughout the region, and at our Ortho Express walk-in clinic when you don't have time to wait. We're here when you need us, working as a team to make your comeback stronger than ever. Getting stronger, getting better, getting you back to your best self. The life of an athlete has its uncertainties, wins and losses, injury and recovery. In the Black Hills area, athletes can always count on Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, here for whatever moves you.
Hey, golfers, have you experienced Elkhorn Ridge Golf Club? Golf Digest ranked Elkhorn Ridge Golf Club the #1 public course in South Dakota. Off Exit 17 in Spearfish, Elkhorn Ridge offers a golfing experience second to none. Play their 18-hole championship layout with your buddies. Stop into Miller Creek Pub for some drinks, or bring the family out for lunch and try out the new putting green right below Miller Creek Pub. Elkhorn Ridge Golf Club has it all. Book your next tee time at elkhornridgeresort.com.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
I want to go back to 2005, where you couldn't advance the runner down the field with 3 offensive linemen pushing him into the end zone. I want to go back to the... This is good stuff. Can anybody tell me, you guys don't like the play? You don't like the play. You're just trying to keep this thing alive. Why did the Browns say they like this play? What are they up to? What the Jets and the Jaguars and the Titans and Dolphins, what are these guys doing? All right, Tush Push stays alive. How about that? Ryan O'Halloran covers the Bills in the NFL, BuffaloNews.com. The Bills didn't vote for this. Their owner doesn't like it. He thinks they're pretty successful at it. Well, they couldn't get it over the Chiefs, I guess. But, Ryan, good to have you back on the Nate Brown Show. How are you?
Oh, good, Nate. Good to talk to you again. I think the last time we met up, I said Josh Allen is going to win the MVP.
Wow. Amazing. I got to get your thoughts on this, man. I got to get your read on this. So the Bills voted to keep the to ban the tush push. They didn't want it. Do you think the Bills can do the tush push? Can they be as effective as the Eagles with Josh Allen, the big MVP?
Yeah, I think they can, because as Josh Allen pointed out earlier this offseason, when I asked him about it, he said, we were, in being the Bills, he goes, I was converting 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1 before we even tried the tush push. And the film confirms that. I mean, even early last year, he was still flying solo on that play. So the question is, well, I'll get to the comment first about the Bills voting to ban it. Sean McDermott has been adamant since the start of the offseason at the Combine. He is against the play, even though the Bills use it effectively. I said, why are you against it? He said, player safety. Okay, what's the data? Well, there is no data. I think it's an old defensive coach wanting to eliminate an advantage for the offense. But Terry Pegula spoke up today representing the Bills as owner. They voted to have it banned, came 2 votes short, and I was stunned that it came up short.
Why do you think these other teams, I just got a listener ask me, he's like, what are these teams doing outside of the Eagles? These other teams like Titans, Patriots, Saints, Jaguars. I mean, why did these guys, it was just interesting that there was 10 that said, no, let's keep it.
Yeah, and I think there's probably some, I mean, I always look at spite. Well, the Super Bowl champs want something. Well, we're not going to give it to them. Or, just because, we don't run it yet doesn't mean we can't run it later with a quarterback. I mean, so I thought Goodell would be able to get the 24 votes. That's why they tabled it last month in Florida. He probably thought he could get 24. But, a part of the rule that also could play into this, Nate, and it's the part of the rule I disagree with, is the pulling of the running back downfield. Don't blow the play dead because they can't tackle the running back. Don't blow the play dead because your offensive linemen are hustling their butt downfield to push that pile. The crowd goes crazy on those types of plays, and they should be allowed.
Very interesting. Ryan O'Halloran with his read on this. Do you like the tush-push play?
I mean, to me, it's not really football, but if you don't like it, stop it. If you don't like it, don't allow your opponent to get in 4th and 1, 3rd and 1. I mean, this is a game, as you know, of very narrow margins. The Eagles found one, and they've taken advantage of it. The Bills found one, and they have taken advantage of it. So I don't think they should be penalized. But, hey, any argument the Bills have is out the window because they didn't want it. So that's a question for Sean McDermott next week when he meets with the media is, Sean, you've been against the tush push from a health and safety standpoint. Is it a play that you will still run moving forward?
Ryan O'Halloran covering the Bills in the NFL. BuffaloNews.com has worked there. Find him on Twitter. Follow him at Ryan O'Halloran. Some more news on the Bills I'm going to get to. One more on this. You said it's an advantage. Well, the Bills say it was an advantage for the offense, like McDermott, a defensive guy. It's an advantage for the offense. They have all the advantages, Ryan. I mean, the defenses have zero advantage. That's another reason why I think you got to get rid of this thing. There's zero advantage for the defense.
Well, and that's probably what they were thinking. And if I was a defense, it goes back to what guys have said before: is play better on first and second down. Align your defense better to give you a chance to stop on that play, to stop the offense on that play. The Chiefs were able to do it in the AFC title game. They knew the Bills would go left on that play every single time. So they had an extra body there, and they stopped them. So, I don't think this play is long for the NFL. I think next year at this time we will see it banned. But for this, because I think you'll have more injury data if there is any injury data, and all it takes is two more teams to flip their vote.
I guess it got a little heated inside the meeting room today in Minnesota with the Eagles making their case and other teams wondering about it. So you think it could get banned by next year. We'll see how this goes. Jalen Hurts has been 86% success on this. 86% success with Jalen Hurts running it. Okay, let's go to the Bills. What did you think of the Hard Knocks deal? We just found out the Bills are going to be on Hard Knocks. What do they think?
Well, I can guarantee it wasn't their idea. It's noticeable that as of 6:30 Eastern, their social media channels have not promoted the Hard Knocks at all.
Oh.
If that's not a sign, but the NFL has taken advantage of the rule they changed in April, which before, if you made the playoffs the previous year, you could turn it down. Well, they found out that putting terrible teams are not interesting on HBO in the summer, so changed the rule, which they did, and they selected the Bills coming off an appearance in the AFC title game. They're going to be the team, and I'm looking forward to it as an observer of the Bills. You don't see this series has been watered down over the years. You're not going to see guys getting cut, but you may see a Sean McDermott speech to the player. You need to see a Josh Allen quarterback meeting. So I think from a fan's perspective and also from somebody who covers the team, I'm interested to see what they do show and how they make it interesting.
Do you think Sean McDermott's personality, is that why the Bills didn't want it? He seems like no nonsense, pretty low key. Why do you think the Bills didn't want it?
Well, I'm sure Brandon Beane also was in that camp as, okay, do you need, distractions are going to come during the course of training camp, be it injuries or guys not playing well or have a lot of penalties in a scrimmage or something like that. This is a distraction that's added, but NFL Films is very professional. They stay out of the way. There's a lot of people, but I think they do a good job if they're given good material. I mean, that's what made the AFC North show during the season last year. It was terrible. It was so boring because the teams didn't open their doors at all. So, the Bills should be strategic in this and say, there's things you can show on TV that will not make a difference win or lose in week one. And that's what they should focus on.
Okay, how interesting is Josh Allen for Hard Knocks?
Well, he should be the star of the show because he's marrying an actress in 2 weeks, or less than 2 weeks, on May 31st, and so he's crossing into the TMZ red carpet stuff. So he'll be more recognizable to the normal fan as opposed to the diehard fan. So he's going to get a lot of play time. I think a guy like Deion Dawkins, he'll be interested in being a star on that show. Keon Coleman will seduce the cameras off the field, but then he can't get open on the field. So how much are you going to put him on there? So I can't. Nate, I couldn't avoid a shot at Keon Coleman, but
yeah.
But personalities will emerge, and guys will want to be a part of it, and they will be a part of it.
Ryan O'Halloran covering the Bills, BuffaloNews.com, talking Bills on Hard Knocks. That's the team that just got selected. The tush push is not going to be banned. All the teams in the AFC East voted for it to keep it alive outside of the Bills. So that's interesting. Last one for you. Would Josh Allen, somebody like that, want to be in the Olympics? Would he want to be a QB in the Olympics, flag football?
Well, I'm sure he could do it, but he will be entering his age 32 season in 3 years. He turned 29 today, so 29, 30, 31. So if I'm him, I'm letting the younger guy do that. If the Olympics were next summer, maybe he would entertain it, but all depends, what kind of quarterback they're looking for. But I'm going to ask him next week, yeah or nay, are you interested? And see what he says.
I'm interested in that, seeing who is interested across the league. Ryan O'Halloran in tonight from the Buffalo News. Find him on Twitter at Ryan O'Halloran, talking Bills and tush push. Ryan, good to have you, man. I appreciate the time.
All right, Nate, anytime now.
Thanks a lot. Ryan O'Halloran getting us started. Covers the NFL and the Buffalo Bills. BuffaloNews.com, Bills beat writer. All right. So Ryan says he's okay with pulling the runners down the field. Pushing the runners down the field. It's such great hustle for those Hogs to get out there. No. They love doing that. The Hogs love doing that. Have you watched this? The Hogs love taking shots at guys that are stood up. I'm stood up, I'm not moving, and I'm going to just kill somebody. Well, they love that. That's a bad look. And so the Jets, Patriots, Dolphins all voted to keep the tush push. What's the deal? They want to get run over by Josh still? He's been doing it a long time. So just I guess Josh Allen will keep running over the Jets, Patriots, and Dolphins. Some listener texts coming in on this. I'm asking you, what do you think of this ownership vote? More owners voted to ban the tush push today, but they couldn't get enough. They missed by 2. 22 teams voted to ban it. That should tell you something. I'm with the 22 teams. Listener text coming in. Nate, this tush push vote is very sketchy. I'd like to hear the voters who voted to keep it and what their explanation actually is. It should have been 31-1 with the Eagles, the only one voting to keep it. Yeah. I mean, what do you guys want to... What are these guys thinking? Listener text, all 32 teams are allowed to do the tush push. Why don't they all do it? Well, I mean, I think they can. I think they can try this. And I'm thinking you might see some of these teams trying this. I'm thinking you might. Now, not everybody is Jalen Hurts, so you got to figure this out, too, that Jalen Hurts, really strong legs, 600-pound squatter, really strong athlete. That doesn't work with Drake May. So the Patriots voted to keep it in. I'm sure they're going to have a great time with Drake May trying to run through the line. How about Tua down in Miami? Cam Ward at Tennessee, good luck. So Jared Goff in Detroit, yeah, he might get his lung knocked loose if he tries it. So listener text, teams want to ban it because they can't do it. I'm not an Eagles homer, I'm a Bronco fan. Well, hey, at least you got that going for you. Thank you for you are the right fan. You are the right fan. But you're not right on the tush push. That's it. Wish they would have killed it. Clinton Yates is joining us next. He's a great guest. He's a longtime friend of mine, going all the way back to the George Michael Sports Machine, one of the first sports highlight shows out there. We worked back then. Now he's been on a big-time show throughout the years, ESPN's Around the Horn. One of my first shows I got into on the sports talk side. ESPN's Around the Horn is winding down this Friday, last episode this Friday. Clinton Yates, an ESPN Around the Horn panelist for many years, joins us live from L.A. next.
This is the Nate Brown.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
The summer heat will be here soon, but our hot summer savings sale is on now. Get $1,200 off every door and $800 off every window. Plus enjoy no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. Get an extra 5% off your entire project if purchased on initial consultation. Hurry, this exclusive offer won't last long. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your windows and doors, so grab these hot savings while you can. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
The place that sells the best new cars and trucks is the place you'll find the best used cars and trucks. That place is Denny Menho Toyota. Shop better quality import and domestic models. Buy with no down and make no payments for 90 days. Plus, buy Toyota certified pre-owned with financing as low as 5.49% APR for up to 60 months. See us at Denny Menho Toyota or DennyMenhoToyota.com. 1910 per 1,000 finance regardless of down. Offers with qualified credit expires 6/30/25.
Eating in Deadwood has so many options thanks to Tin Lizzy Gaming Resort. Wake up with the trusted taste of Starbucks or sit down to a full breakfast at Best Brews. Looking for lunch? Build a wonderfully fresh sandwich from Jersey Mike's. Grab some quick and cheesy goodness from Pizza Hut or pull up a chair in Patty O'Neill's Irish Pub. Need something a little more intimate for dinner? Well, Snitches is all the buzz with an evolving menu of chef-designed culinary creations. There's something for everyone to eat at Tin Lizzy Gaming Resort, located on historic Main Street in Deadwood.
We all know life's busy, and if you get sick, you can get behind pretty quick. That's where Black Hills Urgent Care comes in. No appointments needed, no long waits, just fast, affordable care to get you feeling better quicker. Black Hills Urgent Care has 2 locations in Rapid City on Haynes Avenue and Mountain View Road. You can simply check in online at bhucare.com. That's with the letter U, bhucare.com. When you need care, see the team at Black Hills Urgent Care, the faster way to get better.
At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, we are committed to improving the lives of our members and bettering our communities. As your community credit union, we're here to get to know you and your unique needs. From extended service hours to the newest technology, we have you covered. Stop by any location to get started or text or call 605-718-1818. BHFCU is member-owned, not-for-profit, and federally insured by the NCUA.
This is The Nate Brown Show, also streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe to The Nate Brown Show on YouTube.
Welcome back in Your Sports, Your Show. We are live. Fox Sports Radio. The Nate Brown Show is on tonight. South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Let's take a look at what's on tap. Brought to you by the new Campfire Bar at Mr. Liquor 2, just off Catron Boulevard. South Dakota's best and biggest liquor store right there. And the Campfire Bar right inside. 20 South Dakota brews on tap at the new Campfire Bar, Mr. Liquor 2 off Catron Boulevard. Your home for live sports and 20 local brews on tap. Let's take a look at what's on tap on the Nate Brown Show. Keith Smith coming up, NBA analyst. Spot Track covering the conference finals. We'll talk Knicks, Pacers, get his read on the Wolves. I just thought it was a bad shooting game, a bad turnover game. It's just a bad game for the Wolves. Not the end of the world. People have hit the panic button already. Let's relax on that. Keith Smith coming up, national NBA analyst. Brian Henshin's going to join us tonight. You know Hank, right? Former Argus leader writer. He's now at the Indy Star live in Indianapolis. Brian Henshin on tonight from the Indy Star. So I asked this question of the day, and I was kind of joking, but I'm kind of serious. Since the tush push stays alive, it's off of its deathbed. It was going to be killed today. It was almost dead, and it comes back. It's got new life. It was kind of reminds me of this time in South Dakota high school football where you go back. The board was going to vote. They were going to reduce football classes. It was right there. It was on the table. And then it entered a meeting, and all of a sudden things started happening, and they tabled it. That was it. It was very similar, and that's how this thing played out. Little South Dakota high school football tie. You remember this time? I think Brian Henshin was covering it back in that time, where there was this time where they were going to reduce the football classes in South Dakota. They had it from the 7. It was going to get reduced. I mean, it was there for the taking. And then it just went every which way, and they kept it alive, and they stayed at 7 classes, and now we get to argue about South Dakota high school football classes and having too many and the whole thing, right? That's how this thing works. So I'm going to ask you, Tush Push stayed alive. South Dakota high school football classes, 7 classes. Will that stay forever? Which happens first? The Tush Push ban in the NFL or the 7 football classes actually getting reduced in high school football in South Dakota? That's my question of the day. I want your answer on that. 605-720-1067. What happens first? The Tush Push gets killed by the NFL, or football classes finally reduced in South Dakota? This is a tough one here because the Tush Push was 2 votes away. But again, you go back some years. High school football, I think it looked like we were going to have this reduced classes and everybody was going to go with it. And people were like, okay, we're finally going to kind of whittle it down. We expanded to 7 classes. They're 4 11-man, 3 9-man. We got to get rid of 1. And no, it stayed alive. And then it's just been status quo there. I mean, there's been really no activity on that front. It's just been status quo. We're staying at 7. Listener text, remember 6-man football was in that same boat. That's right. There was a 6-man football thing. It went out to all the schools, and people were like, okay, there's some interest here a little bit. And then it came back, and there's not enough schools interested. It was dead. It's just gone. Let's go to the vote here. What happens first? The NFL banning the Tush Push or South Dakota football classes getting reduced? I have a feeling I know which way you guys are going to go on this. 71% of you say what happens first? The Tush Push is finally killed. 29% of you say football classes will be reduced first. Well, I admire your optimism. You guys are having a positive Wednesday. I'm going to tell you the Tush Push was close today of getting killed, getting banned, very close. You have another year of this. Unless some of these other teams really start doing it, and then are they going to say, well, I like this? What if my Broncos and Bo Nix, what if they started doing it? Sparky has the best Tush Push since the Eagles, and he's got it. What if the Broncos start doing it, and Bo Nix, strong guy, we get first downs, then maybe the Broncos like it. What about the Vikes, J.J. McCarthy? He's getting some Tush Push going on. Maybe they'll start liking it, but I'm going to vote on this myself. What happens first? Tush Push ban in the NFL or football classes finally reduced? Well, you know the answer. We've been fighting the football classifications for a long time. Do you think we're going to stay at 7 football classes for how long? I'm going to tell you, it's going to stay that way for a while. I haven't heard really much discussion about tweaking it, changing it outside of there is that 9-man discussion a little bit. Should we stay at 3 classes there? That's how it might get tweaked because there's a certain threshold when you have certain number of schools and you got to go to 2 classes. But guess what? We saw that happen. Certain number of schools got to go to 2 classes. It was in the Activities Association. We just passed it over because there's a lot of people that say, no. Don't screw up 9-man football. We got 3 classes. That's the end of the story. And I've always made this argument. There's not a huge gap between 9A and 9B, 9AA and 9A. There's not a huge gap when I'm talking about school enrollments and that factor. So I think you could get away with 2 9-man classes. Could you not? I think you could get away with 2 9-man classes. Listener text, I think we're more likely to see an 8th class of football added before they reduce it. What would that be? 6-man? Or should we do another 11-man? 11-man, West River only? Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, people have thrown it around. A little West River Division. West River Division. Is it crazy? Crazy to think that? I'd like regional scheduling. Western class? Eastern class? How about that? 8 classes. Listener text, the NFL is far more responsive than South Dakota high school football. That's saying something. New class of football, 11C. Yeah, because it's just so hard to go from 9AA to 11B. We got to create an 11C. All right. Good stuff there. 70% of you say the Tush Push will get banned before South Dakota high school football changes their classification, and I am with the 70% of you. Hey, I got a big thing here for you next. You know, yesterday, if you missed yesterday's show, Matt Kearney's been on this quest to tell me the Indy 500 is one of the best sports events out there. You got to experience, you got to stay plugged in on this. Matt Kearney went the extra mile to try and get me to get dialed in on the Indy 500. This is amazing what I've got for you next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
At Ace, your backyard is right in our backyard. So when you need to feed your grass, remove the weeds, or wrangle those leaves, go to the best place that delivers on top brands like Ego, Toro, and Steel. No warehouse store can match the convenience of your locally owned neighborhood Ace. So stop on by. You can also order online for curbside pickup or get what you need delivered. Around the block, what you need in stock with people who know their lawn care. At participating stores.
I was the cool dad. My kids wanted me to take them to the mall. I didn't think anything about doing it in front of them, even though I knew it was illegal. Then my oldest started driving. Like father, like son. Gotta read that text right now. But he took a life, and now his is shattered too.
Addiction has many faces. Texting and driving when you know it's life-threatening and illegal can be one of them. Take back control. Put the phone down.
Brought to you by the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety, the South Dakota Broadcasters Association, and this station.
The hottest wins are at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resorts. Blaze into big wins with over $80,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs, including your chance to drive off in a 2025 Chevy Trailblazer. Win $300 prize packages every Friday and Saturday from 8 p.m. to midnight, plus a $1,000 prize package at midnight. So qualify today and save the date for the grand prize drawing on Saturday, July 19th. Big wins all summer long at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort in Deadwood. How will your night play out?
Collins Siding has been the region's premier window siding, door, and gutter installation specialist since 1974. They use only the highest quality materials and never compromise on their workmanship. Collins Siding is licensed, bonded, and their estimates always include labor, materials, and applicable permits and taxes. Collins Siding has been providing top quality service and exceeding high standards for over 45 years, and you can find out how by visiting them at 2016 Cherry Avenue. Collins Siding, 2016 Cherry Avenue, Rapid City.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Slight chance for showers tonight, otherwise clear skies. Lows dip down to about 39. Northwesterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mainly clear tomorrow, highs level off around 65. Cloudy skies expected tomorrow night, thunderstorms likely, lows level off around 45. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, it's 57 degrees.
The doctors and staff at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center have provided expert bone, joint, and muscle care to patients in the Black Hills area since 1976. Whether you're an elite athlete, a weekend warrior, or just want to continue your active lifestyle, the orthopedic experts at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center will help you stay in the game. Don't let an injury keep you from doing the things you love. Trust the team at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, specializing in what moves you. Learn more at BHOSC.com.
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear. Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields, we're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown.
All right, welcome back in South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Across the state, it's the Nate Brown Show. Thanks for being here. Wednesday edition of the program. Follow us and watch us live on X at Nate Brown Show. You can watch the show live. Welcome in wherever you're at tonight. Watching on X at Nate Brown Show. Around the Horn's one of my favorite shows. I watched it a lot. I used to do morning radio, so I'd watch this thing in the afternoon. I was one of those guys. And it's coming to a close Friday. 23-year run. A guy that's been a panelist on the show. He's been a regular. A guy that I worked with all the way back in the George Michael Sports Machine. Can you believe it? You remember this show? On NBC Sunday nights, late. Clinton Yates is on. He's on ESPN Radio and Around the Horn panelist for many years. Clinton, good to have you back on. How are you?
Nate, what's up? It's so funny you bring up the George Michael Sports Machine, because the truth is, I would have never been on that show to meet you had I not done something that changed my life. Back when Tony Kornheiser used to do his ESPN radio show in the exact same time slot I'm in now, from ESPN Zone in D.C., and I went to school at Miami University in Ohio, I went down there on spring break with every single newspaper I had ever written anything in at school, and I was just like, dude, put me on. What are we doing? And he was like, are you serious? Like, and this is 01. This is back before, a lot of things. And that show was about a year old, Around the Horn was, and so was PTI. And he said, why don't you just come down to the studio with me? And I was like, are you serious? And he was like, yeah, you serious? And I was like, yeah, okay, sure, I'll do it, So we go down there, and Tony is like, hey, Mike, meet this kid. He wants to be, you're his idol or whatever, which is not true. Tony was actually the one that I idolized most, but I like Mike a lot. It's just funny. So Mike meets me, and we talk, and next thing you know, he says, listen, I'm going to hook you up with an internship with George Michael. Just answer the phone in your dorm when they call. And literally, this was on a Friday. That Monday, they called, and I ended up downtown in D.C., not downtown, but in Tenleytown in D.C., and, the rest is history, so to speak.
That's wild, man. My story's interesting. Maybe not as interesting as that. How do I get to the George Michael Sports Machine from South Dakota? You probably don't even know that.
I don't think that I do know, no.
My professor in college was great friends with George Michael back in their radio days, a long, long time ago.
Wow, the Big Boppers.
Yes. So he was in L.A., and he did radio, George Michael, and the whole thing in the Midwest, and then he goes, hey, I got this kid who's pretty good at sports. Just send him back there. And I'm going, and you guys didn't give me that much grief about being from South Dakota, so I appreciate that.
No, absolutely not. It was a great bonding experience. And for those of you young journalists out there, there are certain places where if you can get there and cut your teeth and learn how to actually do stuff in terms of how newsrooms operate. I know things are different now. I'm not going to sound like an old man, but there are a lot of valuable experiences, even as a young person. You know this, Nate. Being in there when other people had way more important things to do, but you could at least see how they operated, so you knew how to handle yourself if you got to that position yourself.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Clinton Yates on tonight. So let's get the Around the Horn situation here. What's your emotions here? 23-year show. You've been on it. I can't remember how long. You tell me, but what's your emotions today?
It's 8 years, and that number kind of makes me crazy because that's more than a third. Which, when I first got there, I always kind of felt new. It wasn't until recently that I was like, oh, yeah, I've been doing this for a while. And not in terms of, like, the numbers on the calendar, but just how I felt about the show. And so, for me, it's hard to even put into words, Nate. I'm not the same person if that show doesn't exist. Not just on the levels that I just told you, but everything else in terms of how I do anything. When you're a reporter or a columnist doing work all over the country, which I was, for ESPN and people know your face when you walk into a clubhouse or a locker room or onto a sideline, it helps. There's just no other way around it. Never mind the community of actual people that I got to know as a journalist on the program, between panelists and the people that work behind the scenes and, everything else like that, working in different markets and doing different stuff. Like, I don't know. I feel sort of like I'm graduating from a school that's actually closing. You know what I'm saying? And, that's a weird way to put it, but that's kind of how I feel.
Clinton Yates on tonight, ESPN Radio, ESPN's Around the Horn. Find him on Twitter at Clinton Yates. He's here on the Nate Brown Show. Around the Horn coming to a close. Last episode is Friday. It's been a great sports show. What do you think people are going to, take away from the show, Clinton? Meaning, it's a goofy show, it's a funny show, but I thought it was some serious stuff there, some really good sports debate stuff. I loved it. What should be the number one takeaway?
I think the diversity of voices, and I know that word makes people shudder because they think of certain other things, but the fact of the matter is that over the course of the 23 years, there's been so many different people from so many different places, of so many different ages, that had to be what the fabric maintaining everything was. The fact that you didn't hear the same two jabronis yelling the same thing the entire time. And so people can say what they want about, the topics that, people address or this and that. But the fact of the matter is that as a program, we did our best to make sure that we allowed everyone to speak. And that, I think, was the biggest strength of our show. When Around the Horn started, it was a bunch of dudes screaming over top of each other, yelling about regional rivalries. By the time it's done, it is what we hear now. It just kind of feels like there's so much more that I don't want to say could have accomplished, but that we ended up doing as a result of just staying with the times and understanding that, not everything is just about embracing debate.
All right. One more on Around the Horn. Shows like that that was unique. It wasn't total just debate yelling at each other like you just said. Where's sports media going? You have a radio show. You stream it. You're on TV. I mean, I stream this show out of South Dakota. We have to. We're one of the only ones streaming live video, the whole thing. Where's sports media? What are the consumers wanting?
Nate, I'll tell you this right now. That's the one thing I'm definitely not thinking about right now because I'm just so emotional about getting through the last program. I mean, I'm not saying that facetiously or to cut off the question, but you're asking where my emotions are. They're hyper-focused on what my feelings are going to be by the time this entire thing ends tomorrow. So the future of the game, for me specifically, I'm going to continue on the radio. I'm going to continue to write. But what the television, visual versus linear versus online versus streaming world looks like, I'm not going to act like an expert on that. I mean, I know what I like, I know what other people like, and I know what works. And those are always three different things, I think, in a lot of different universes. And what ends up happening with, I don't know, that time slot or just a general concept of sports debate, it's hard to tell. We're moving closer to a personality-based, and by personality-based, I mean, we're all personalities, but, one big person and their, I don't want to say minions, but their crew versus a bunch of different professionals at the same sort of flight coming together to discuss things as equals. And so I don't want to sound down about it, but I kind of am. And so that's a bummer.
No, I got you. I'm going to let you run with this. Clinton Yates on ESPN's Around the Horn. It's been a great show. I think you've done an outstanding job. Love watching you on it. ESPN's radio as well. Sports topic. Tush push. Where do you stand? I'm not sure where you stand, so I'm opening it up. Would you have voted today with the 22 teams to ban it?
I said this on the program this morning. You tell me how you adjudicate that. Too many tushes? Too many pushes? Is there a flag? What are we actually talking about? As far as I'm concerned, that play has one simple phrase that I describe it as. Playing football. There's no need to ban that. Get better, get bigger dudes. That's how the game works. That's how I am.
All right.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I've disagreed with you on tonight. That's it. That's the only thing. Clinton Yates in tonight, ESPN Radio and Around the Horn. Last episode is this Friday. Congrats on the run, man. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, Nate. Glad to be your friend. And don't be a stranger just because you don't see me on TV anymore.
I appreciate that. No, I got you. Follow him at Clinton Yates and watch him. ESPN's Around the Horn winding down Friday. His show is on ESPN Radio. It's out of ESPN Los Angeles. Clinton and Friends. Nice show. Does a good job. Appreciate my buddy coming on. Clinton Yates on the Nate Brown Show tonight on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. It's been a fun show. Around the Horn was one of my first sports debate shows. You know, it kind of goes, you had the sports reporters, then you had PTI. Around the Horn kind of got going in there. I loved Woody Page. I've had Woody on here. Bob Ryan, the old Boston Globe writer. I mean, so some really good guys. And Clinton Yates, one of the newer versions, he's been on 8 years already. Clinton Yates out of ESPN Los Angeles and Around the Horn panelist. Around the Horn on ESPN winding down this Friday. Hey, I've got something big here. I've got something big, okay? Matt Kearney has been trying to sell me, and it doesn't have to be a hard sell, but he took it to another level. I need to watch the Indy 500. I need to experience the Indy 500. I said yesterday, I don't think I've watched more than 15 minutes in my life. I mean, I'll catch it. You know, I'll take when it used to be on NBC. It was like, okay, it's on. All right. I don't know the guys. I throw out a few drivers maybe. So he said, this is the quest this year. Can he get me to do the Indy 500? Will I ever go to the Indy 500? One of the most iconic sports events out there. And look what he just did. Somehow, some way, great IndyCar driver Connor Daly sent me this.
Nate, what's up? It's Connor Daly here. Be driving the Indianapolis 500 this weekend. I hear you need convincing somehow to watch the greatest spectacle in racing, where 1 in every 1,100 people in the entire country will be at on Sunday. Not entirely sure why anyone would want to miss out on such a spectacular event. It's going to be one of the greatest races of all time. Sold out crowd. Over 400,000 people in there, so why not? Yeah, why not? Let's get on it. And if you're not there physically, got to watch it on Fox. I mean, it's going to be must-see television, and cheer for the purple and orange AM/PM car. But yeah, I think the only choice is everyone else will be doing it, so might as well watch it on Sunday and cheer for the 76 car.
That is the Connor Daly. This isn't fake. This is real. This isn't fake news, okay? This is real. Matt Kearney taking it to another level and actually getting...
Nate, what's up? It's Connor Daly here.
Unbelievable. Is that it? That sealed the deal? We had to do that tonight. Hey, by the way, thanks, Connor, for doing that. Matt Kearney taking it to another level. I just might think about this. He got me thinking, how could I not experience the Indy 500? Let's put it on my calendar for next year. Can we do this? Indy 500, Caitlin Clark game like a day later or 2 days later. It's a beauty. That's a beauty sports weekend right there. Keep an eye on it next week. Or I should say next year. Indy 500, Caitlin Clark game. Why wouldn't I do that in Indianapolis? And Matt Kearney just took Connor Daly into the Nate Brown Show. That might have sealed the deal. I appreciate the effort. Coming right back with 5 questions from Chris. Hang on.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
The summer heat will be here soon, but our hot summer savings sale is on now. Get $1,200 off every door and $800 off every window. Plus enjoy no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. Get an extra 5% off your entire project if purchased on initial consultation. Hurry, this exclusive offer won't last long. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your windows and doors, so grab these hot savings while you can. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
A294 BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City.
Sport utility season rolls on at Denny Menhol Rushmore Honda. We have the area's best selection of pre-owned Honda and Honda certified pre-owned trucks and SUVs. Save big with 0.99% APR on select models, 0.99, plus great offers on late model SUVs, imports, and domestics. Nearly 70 to choose from. Our new SUV is here, and the time to buy is now at Denny Menhol Rushmore Honda or RushmoreHonda.com. Length of finance contract is limited with qualified credit. Expires 6/30/25.
Hey, sports parents and ballers of all ages, Rapid City has a new sports facility that you have to check out. E3 Sports Complex on East North Street is the newest indoor sports facility featuring 4 full courts. E3 Sports is here to serve the community and wants all athletes of any age to come and experience expert training, coaching, and the opportunity to unlock your athletic potential. Memberships and court rentals are available now. Come to play at E3 Sports Complex. Learn more at e3sports.org.
Chatting with Brian at Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail. Well, time to see how your car weathered the winter.
That it is. Let's make sure your vehicle is ready to handle the warm months ahead.
Being a AAA and ASE certified shop, I know you guys are well equipped to do just that.
Justin and our techs have all the experience you need in diagnosing and repairing whatever may be ailing your vehicle.
And if finances are tight for customers, you can help there?
Yes, we can. We offer the AutoPass card, which has really been a huge help for people who are in dire need of repairs. Call us with any questions on this program, or you can get an answer in minutes right from our homepage at anytimeanytime.com. Just click the AutoPass Apply Now button.
What a great option for those who have repairs that just can't wait.
Absolutely. It's been a fantastic opportunity for many people.
Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail, everybody. The place to trust. Your complete AAA and ASE certified automotive repair specialist. See anytimeanytime.com and at the corner of Highway 79 and East Minnesota.
Anytime Auto Sales. One more time.
This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
Welcome back in. Hope you've had a great day. Good first hour on the show as we got going with Clinton Yates, ESPN's Around the Horn. Great guest tonight. He's going to be on Around the Horn, the final episode of that show. It's been on 23 years on ESPN. It's coming up this Friday. So it's been a great, fun show. Clinton Yates, one of the friends of mine from long ago at the great George Michael Sports Machine. Now, you're a real one. You are a real one if you know what the George Michael Sports Machine is. Not just because we worked there to start our careers, but because you're a sports fan from way back. That was like the first Sports Center style highlight show. Do you remember this? You had to stay up until like 11:30 on Sunday night. And George Michael would recap that Sunday's NFL games, the whole thing. That's where Clinton Yates and myself got started at the George Michael Sports Machine. Around the Horns, Clinton Yates on in the first hour. Ryan O'Halloran talking tush push, covers the Bills and the NFL in the first hour. If you miss any guests, go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. All of the shows are there. Go search the Nate Brown Show wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and you've got the show. We're ready to go in the second hour. Great guest coming up. Hang tight. Brian Henshin's going to join us, former Argus leader writer out of Sioux Falls. Now he's at the Indy Star, live from Indianapolis. Brian Henshin on tonight. And NBA national analyst Keith Smith coming up from Spot Track, covering the conference finals. What does he say about the Wolves' loss last night in Game 1? Right now, it's Wednesday on the Nate Brown Show, and it is.
It's time for 5 questions from Chris on the Nate Brown Show.
Chris, how we doing tonight? What do you got for me? Our loyal listener, Chris, has been sending me 5 questions every week for years now. 5 questions from Chris. Number 1, NFL owners meeting going on today. They have already passed that NFL players can play Olympic flag football. Nate, do you think the Professional Flag Football League players should be playing in the event, or the NFL players taking the spots? That's how it looks here, okay? Chris, I didn't know there was professional flag football players. Where are they? Are they in Sioux Falls? Where are these guys? No, I understand. I haven't followed professional flag football, so my answer is I want Justin Jefferson. He just said yesterday, Justin Jefferson said, I'll be in the Olympics. I'm in this thing. That's who I want. I want Josh Allen throwing it to Justin Jefferson or maybe a Shedeur Sanders, huh? If you don't want him on the Browns, maybe we can put him into the Olympics. I want NFL players in the Olympics. I don't need the professional flag football players. Sorry. Question number 2. NFL owners also discussing the tush push. Aaron Rodgers said it should be banned. Aaron Rodgers didn't like that style of play, said it's rugby style. What do you think of the tush push? Should they have banned it? Yes, they should have banned. And I'm not the only one on this hill, Chris, right? What do you think, Chris? Chris is a Green Bay Packers fan. Did I give out a secret? I hate to tell everybody. Our loyal listener, Chris, is a Packers homer. That's his team who introduced it. Do you want it banned? They voted today. They were 2 votes shy of banning it, so they should have banned it, Chris. It's an unfair play. It's a bad play. It's a momentum, 2 players behind the quarterback play, pushing, advancing the runner. It was banned up until 2005, and then we've allowed this to get loose and go crazy. It's a bad play. They should ban it. I'm with you and your Green Bay Packers. Unfortunately, 2 votes shy, because we had the Jags and the Titans and teams that maybe should be relegated anyway out of the NFL. Anyway, question number 3. NASCAR and Michael Jordan are in a heated lawsuit right now. MJ suing NASCAR, saying the family-owned organization is a monopoly. Now Roger Penske's in trouble when it comes to Indianapolis 500. Let's see. Do you think both racing organizations, NASCAR, Indy, should be forced into changing how they govern within the next 5 years? Meaning, should families that own IndyCar and NASCAR teams have to sell or give up control of the organization? Yes, I actually think it's crazy. I've learned with Matt Kearney here this week that, like Penske, he owns IndyCar, he owns the Indianapolis 500, and he's got teams racing in it. You can't have that. You got to have somebody. I mean, if you're going to own teams, that's like the owner of the Broncos, the Walmart Group, owning the Broncos and then running the league. I can't have that. So I was surprised. I'm not a race car guy, and I found this out. I'm like, wait, Penske had a couple of drivers, a couple of teams get in trouble here. He owns IndyCar. He owns the Indy 500. What? Huh? And he's competing in it? Too conflict of interest for me. I don't like it. Can't have it. Question number 4. The Preakness was held Saturday and broadcast on NBC. A lot of the discussion was around should they move the other dates when it comes to the Belmont and Preakness. Do you think we should see any change in the Belmont or Preakness in the next 5 years? What do you like spacing them out, Chris? Because if that's what you're saying, I think you should space them out, I guess. I'm a horse racing fan. I want to see horses race in the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness, and the Belmont. I want to see them race in all 3. And if they're saying they can't make that work, spread them out. Move the Belmont to the 4th of July. So spread them out. I don't need them all boom, boom, boom. Let's spread them out. I'm with you on that. Question number 5. When the NFL schedule was released last week, a lot of the talk was about teams getting primetime standalone games. The Chiefs have 8 standalone games. Some of the games are Thursday night on Amazon, have some big matchups. Nate, do you think the NFL is purposely placing potentially strong games on the Thursday night games to get the public ready for more streaming games. Well, I just think they put strong games on Thursday night because they want the Prime deal to look good. They just want to keep getting that money from Prime. They want to keep getting money from Peacock. They want to keep getting money from Netflix. So they're like, yeah, we'll give you some pretty good games. They're not going to give them stinkers. Those guys are paying big bucks for those. So they're going to give them some good games. Better games, big bucks, goes hand in hand. So, no, I think they did purposely put some pretty good games on Amazon Thursday night. Money. It's all about the money. 5 questions from Chris in the books. Brian Henson joins us live, former Argus leader writer, now with the Indy Star. Brian Henson, our old friend, live next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
This summer heat will be here soon, but our hot summer savings sale is on now. Get $1,200 off every door and $800 off every window. Plus enjoy no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. Get an extra 5% off your entire project if purchased on initial consultation. Hurry, this exclusive offer won't last long. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your windows and doors, so grab these hot savings while you can. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
For lasting family memories with a new or pre-owned RV from Dakota Discount RV. We make your RV experience fun and easy by providing you with a quality recreational vehicle, competitive pricing, and professional sales and service. Our large inventory of fifth-wheelers, travel trailers, toy haulers, and live-in horse trailers allows us to save our customers thousands of dollars compared to most dealers. Stop by and see us at Dakota Discount RV, 3330 East Mall Drive across from Cabela's and on JB Road, Blackhawk.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Slight chance for showers tonight, otherwise clear skies. Lows dip down to about 39. Northwesterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mainly clear tomorrow, highs level off around 65. Cloudy skies expected tomorrow night, thunderstorms likely, lows level off around 45. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, it's 57 degrees.
The place that sells the best new cars and trucks is the place you'll find the best used cars and trucks. That place is Denny Mental Toyota. Shop better quality import and domestic models. Buy with no down and make no payments for 90 days. Plus, buy Toyota certified pre-owned with financing as low as 5.49% APR for up to 60 months. See us at Denny Mental Toyota or DennyMentalToyota.com. 1910 per 1,000 finance regardless of down. Offers with qualified credit expires 6/30/25.
Hi, this is Dr. Dan Jensen at Physio. We want to be your trusted partner for physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab. As the official strength and conditioning partners for Stevens, Central, Douglas, and the Rapid City Rush, our team at Physio is building the best athletes in the Black Hills. If you have an athlete in the family, we offer long-term athlete development at affordable prices for middle and high school students. We also have the only board-certified sports PT in Rapid City. At our brand new facility, Physio is ready to help you perform at your best. One-on-one physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab, all at one place. Get started at bhphysio.com.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk.
Welcome back in tonight. Glad you're here. The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio, South Dakota Sports Talk Show. I said, you got to ban the tush push. This is ridiculous. I got a lot of pushback here tonight just from my daughter, that's all. I mean, my daughter just sent in capitalized letters. She sent me a message. You're wrong, wrong, wrong. Tush push should not be banned. What's her problem? She's a Broncos fan. We don't care about the tush push. Does she like Jalen Hurts and the Eagles? Ban the tush push. Get it out of here. So now I'm getting feedback from my own family. This is out of control. Thank you. Brian Henson is on tonight from Indianapolis. Indy Star sports writer. Brian, welcome back on. How are you?
I'm good, buddy. I'm good. It's been a while.
I know. I said it's time to get Brian Henson on. He's not doing anything. So come on now. See, I got you. You've been busy. I'm going to get into this thing. What is it like, Season 2, Caitlin Clark Fest? What's it like in Indianapolis as the season just got started?
It's still honestly surreal. And I'm somebody who's paid to cover girls' sports primarily for a living, and it's still surreal. I was texting a friend actually on Saturday because I covered the home opener, and I got down there early because I'd help out with Pacers too. So I'm down there at 10 o'clock for a 3 o'clock game, and the city's already buzzing, man. Like, there are people walking around downtown in Caitlin Clark shirts. I swear there were people lined up. I tweeted out a photo. There were people lined up outside the arena in the main concourse waiting to get in for the Fever game at that time. And I heard that when the team store opened at 9:30 or whatever it was, there was a line out the door and around the block already when they opened the doors. So the intensity and the excitement continues. And what's crazy and what's cool is that it's, as everybody has said, is that it's kind of filtered out and spread out, where it's not just Caitlin Clark, it's also Aaliyah Boston and everybody else in that team, Sophie Cunningham, Lacey Hall, DeWanna Bonner, it's just everybody in that team, the excitement for it, and it's cool to see that it's continued and just how it's grown. And when you focus on the positive sides of things, obviously there's some other stuff going on, but in terms of fan intensity and support and all that, it's still going really strong. And then at the game last night, it was cool. Brittany Griner was in town, so seeing her and again Caitlin Clark and some of the other players interacting with all the young girls and young boys down there wanting autographs and whatnot is always really cool to see. So yeah, man, it's been a time, I tell you what.
You're going to be covering some of the Fever this year for the Indy Star. You covered the game last night. By the way, Caitlin Clark and the Fever lost by 1. By the way, it was 91-90 in their second game of the season. They lost to Atlanta. That was kind of a side story, but it's sold out. The place is crazy. Are you surprised, Brian? We saw the Caitlin thing last year. I was wrong. I said on this show, I don't think she's going to be able to move the needle for the WNBA as much as college women's basketball. I thought the Iowa thing was going to be what it was. I really did. I just thought it's going to be spring, summer. People aren't going to be dialed in. I was way wrong. Now year 2, is it even more?
Maybe a little bit more, and I wouldn't say necessarily that I was surprised, but I think that's more because I'm obviously following a lot of people who cover. I have our main beat writer, Chloe Pearson, who does a great job covering the Fever. I see her numbers, and she tweets out anything, even over the summer where it's just some mundane update. She tweets something about Caitlin Clark and about the Fever, and it blows up and has 50 retweets and 100 likes in the first couple of minutes that it posts. So, no, I'm not necessarily surprised. We'll see how it continues, but it's cool to see, and I think that it's one of those things that feels like it's kind of here to stay. And obviously, there's, like I mentioned and alluded to before, there's some toxicity that's come with that. Although I think that's more also partially a byproduct of just how sports are nowadays in the social media age. But focusing on the positives, man, it's awesome. And too, anecdotally, it just seems like the interest in girls' sports, basketball in particular, obviously even here in Indiana, has kind of surged a little bit in different pockets, which is just so cool to see and so important to see, as people who are involved with the sport and cover it for a living.
Yeah, it's interesting. Brian Henson on tonight, covered the Fever game last night. Indy Star sports writer Brian Henson on. Find him on Twitter. He's there at Brian_Henson. A couple more on the Caitlin Clark thing. So I look at it as, say, the Angel Reese Caitlin Clark rivalry. I call it a sports rivalry. I'm okay with that sports rivalry. I don't need to go into the other corners that people take this thing. Isn't it just a sports rivalry?
Oh, yeah. I mean, gosh, this stuff happens pretty, so I want to be careful what I say here, but looking at the play that happened on Sunday where Caitlin Clark fouls her, basketball play, Angel Reese pops up and is angry. That happens on the men's side and nobody bats an eye, right? Or,
yes.
At least not like this.
Right.
And it's aggravating because I'm with you. I think that it's kind of good for the sport because you kind of have these two, in theory it's good for the sport because it's like you have these two big figures and it's kind of hard to say they're rivals because I think that it's objectively fair to say that Caitlin Clark is on a different level than Angel Reese, as is, she is that way with most other players too, but that's fun. That's like a storyline that's something for people to follow and to have a healthy and fun back and forth debate about. But
I'm with you on that.
I mean, it's unfortunate because the toxicity of it all is it's overwhelming, and it's just like Katie Nolan, who does a national podcast. I was listening to one of her clips, and she mentioned that before it was people saying that they never watched the WNBA, and that's how they trolled, and like nobody watched women's sports and all that. And it's like now that women's sports are becoming more relevant, those people are still there, except instead of saying that nobody's watching, they found other ways to infiltrate the conversation and to get their way that way and to poison the well, so to speak. And this is the way that they do it, is just as posting on social media and whatnot, and it's aggravating because I'm with you. I think that it's kind of fun that they have their little back and forth, like the thing in college. I thought was kind of funny, and the thing on Saturday too, like that as a competitor. That's what the Chicago Sky coach said too afterwards. Is like she's a competitor. That's the kind of response that I expect to see from her because she's, that's the way she is. And then from Caitlin Clark's side, that's what any player should have done there. Is you foul hard to try and deny the basket. Now you can argue, was the game all that close? Was it really worth it? Blah 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 blah. But no, I think that it is fun and, in theory, should be a good thing for the sport and for the league.
Nothing more, nothing less to me. I mean, people make something and they take it this way. There's still guys arguing about it, and they took it a totally different way. I'm like, what are you guys doing? It's just wild. By the way, Caitlin Clark's shoe is coming out June 1st, Brian Henson, okay? Caitlin Clark's first Nike Fever shoe coming out June 1st, priced at, I think they said $190. Do these fly off the store shelves?
Oh yeah. 'Cause I'm assuming they're like, I think it's Sabrina Ionescu released a shoe recently, in talking to the girls basketball players before the season, they talked about how wonderful it was to have a shoe designed by a women's basketball player because it was lighter. Whereas the Giannis shoes, for a lot of them, they're a bit too heavy for them. Same thing with like the bronze and all that. So I think that the Caitlin Clark name aside is going to draw a ton, obviously, despite the price point. I think, too, just the idea for women and for girls basketball players to have shoes that are designed for them is going to be a big difference, too, in all this.
The one thing I never got when I was a kid is Michael Jordan shoes. I wanted Jordans. Did Brian Henson, did you get any like LeBrons, or did you get anything like this? I mean, I never got my Jordans. My parents didn't buy them. I mean, it was an old day, man. They were like, we don't have a ton of money. We're not going to buy you all these Michael Jordan shoes. So I never got my Jordans. The question is, do I get my daughter the Caitlin Clark shoes? Is that spoiled?
You're making the big Fox Sports Radio money now, so I kind of think you have to, right?
Well, you just stepped into it. Thanks a lot. By the way, let me get this. This. Brian Henson, I'm going to let you run Indy 500. It's popping in Indianapolis. You got Caitlin Clark. You got Indy 500. Matt Kearney is here. He's an Indy 500, just a super fan. He says this is the iconic event. This is the event you have to go to. What do you say about the Indy 500?
Oh, yeah. I've covered it once. As my first year here, I was roped into covering it, and it was so cool. Like, it is truly one of those bucket list sporting events, and I'm not a racing guy. Like, it's not my bag. But I went to the Indy 500 or the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Museum with a buddy who was in town, and I actually went just a few weeks ago to see the redesigned, and it kind of gets you in the mood. But the 500 itself, it's so massive, it's insane. The spectacle of it all is unbelievable. Like, it's hard to put into words. And it's one of those things, man, you just have to see to believe. Unlike the Kentucky Derby in an event like that, like I would rank it ahead of the Super Bowl for sure. Yeah, I don't know about a World Series. I've been around a World Series, but the Super Bowl is kind of like as much of a social gathering as anything else. But yeah, I think the Masters, Indy 500, Kentucky Derby are all kind of in that same bucket, just in terms of being you should try and experience it at least once in your life as a sports fan type of spectacle.
Okay, he's trying to talk me into it. I'm thinking maybe next year. Think about this. I could go to Indy 500. I could go to a Caitlin Clark game, and I could go have a drink with Brian Henson. I mean, how about that?
I could take you over to St. Elmo's. We could get some of their famous shrimp cocktail, buddy. We could live it up. If you did it this year, you could have gone Fever Saturday, 500 Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, Pacers Eastern Conference Final.
I know.
And then you could have kicked over to some softball state tournament games with me, buddy. Oh, Nelly.
Just finish it out strong. By the way, I did say this is the year, the Pacers and the Eastern Conference. I'm like, I missed it. I might try it. Brian Henson on tonight, covered the Fever last night. He'll be on this a little bit with Caitlin Clark and the summer coming up. Indy Star sports writer. Brian, good to have you, man. Thanks a lot.
Always good talking to you, buddy. I'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate you hopping on. Brian Henson on South Dakota Sports Talk Show, former Argus leader writer from Sioux Falls, now with the Indianapolis Star. Indy Star. Find him on Twitter at Brian_Henson. He puts the Indy 500 ahead of the Super Bowl in his world. Ahead of the Super Bowl. Now, I have a question. If I go to an event like this, 350,000 people, that scares me. That means I'm going to be doing what? Where am I going to park? I'm going to have to shuttle in from Timbuktu. I'm going to have to shuttle in from South Bend. I got a problem with the parking, the accessibility. I got to worry about this. I mean, I go to Broncos games, and I got to walk across Denver. So you're talking 350,000 people. What am I going to do? I'd have to try and get the old Matt Kearney media pass or something like that. Yeah, I never got the Michael Jordans. Do you feel sorry for me? I never got Jordan shoes, but see, it was a different era. There were the spoiled kids that got the Jordans. I never got the Jordans. I had to, pack a lunch, be tougher than a $2 steak. You just had. So I always wanted the Jordans. My parents never got me the Jordans. I'm scarred today. Can you tell? But now this day and age, what do we think as parents? Well, I better get the new Caitlin Clarks. I better get the new Caitlin Clarks. Huh. That's interesting. Are the Caitlin Clark shoes going to fly off the shelves like the Jordans kind of back in the day? I'm not saying Caitlin Clark's Jordan, but the celebrity status here and the transformational figure on the women's sports side and girls' sports side, I just wonder how many people are going to buy those $190 Caitlin Clark shoes that come out on June 1st. So that's interesting. I never got the Jordans. You would think I would be buying Jordans left and right now. I don't. It's a sore subject. No, anyway. I don't buy Jordans. And then I could have bought the Jordans. My parents told me, they said, I got all these jobs. I worked on an oil pipeline. I had money, so I worked jobs. I never bought myself the Jordans in high school. Guess why? Because I didn't want to spend my own money on the Jordans. That's why my parents were like, see why we... do I make my kids buy their own Caitlin Clark shoes? Well, that'll take them 4 years, so good luck. Keith Smith's in next. What his thoughts of the Wolves game last night? The Wolves got pounded. I think it's an overreaction from everybody today. Timberwolves are down 0-1. They think OKC's going to take this thing. I don't think we need to read much into it. We'll talk to Keith Smith covering the Western Conference Finals, NBA analyst next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Get ready for summer. It's the Memorial Day sale through June 2nd at Splash City. Create your summer retreat in your backyard with a hot tub or a swim spa, or heat up with an infrared sauna for as little as $99 a month from the leading brands in the market. Jacuzzi, American Whirlpool, or Sundance. Get 0% financing and save up to $5,000 in factory rebates. Enjoy the summer ahead and save during the Memorial Day sale through June 2nd at the area's #1 summer fun spot, Splash City. Sioux Falls, Sioux City, and Rapid City.
If you're grilling this weekend, be sure to have plenty of Village Hearth buns on hand. Fancy equipment and secret sauces are great, but once you've mastered the basics, it's all about the bun. Your perfectly grilled burgers and hot dogs deserve the best, and with several varieties to choose from, including unsliced old-fashioned, classic white or wheat, country potato, and mini sliders, the bakers of Village Hearth have the buns your family will love. Village Hearth buns, locally baked and delivered fresh daily.
This month at Spearfish GMC Cadillac, you will find a huge selection of locally sourced pre-owned vehicles. A busy April has brought in a ton of quality trades, cars, trucks, and SUVs. All makes and all models. All locally driven, locally trusted, and all priced below market for unbeatable savings. Hurry in today while the selection is at its best. Spearfish GMC Cadillac. Online always at spearfishmotors.com.
Imagine this, a bank that is committed to you, that understands your needs, your values, and your growth. No more settling for the status quo. Pioneer Bank and Trust offers tailored solutions, innovative services, and a team of experts dedicated to your success. You deserve more attention and more support from your bank. Don't settle. Pioneer. Pioneer Bank and Trust. Local.
Pioneer Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Headed to the 85th Sturgis Rally? Make the ride even better with a stay at Cadillac Jackson Deadwood. Relax in style with 3 top-notch hotels. Spring Hill Suites by Marriott, Doubletree, and True by Hilton. Plus, enjoy 4 eateries and Deadwood's largest casino floor. Mention this ad and receive an exclusive Gambler's Getaway that includes a $20 food and beverage credit, $30 in Cadillac cash, and 2 free drink tickets. Book your rally stay today at Cadillac Jacks. Call 605-578-1500.
So, I just got the State Farm Personal Price Plan on my car insurance.
So you told your agent you play the bagpipes for your dog?
What? No, I didn't get that personal. My agent just helped me create an affordable price just for me. Okay, let me show you what I've been working on. Hey, Buster!
Contact me, State Farm agent Scott Carlson, to create your personal price plan today.
Prices may vary.
Hey sports fans, it's Rob from the Firehouse Skybox. We are Rapid City's premier sports bar with everything you want for the best game watching experience. Bring your crew and take in the action while enjoying our Firehouse craft beers, specialty cocktails, and a great menu of Firehouse burgers, nachos, and more. We have every game, every night on our 35 big screens, and there's not a bad seat in the house. Come and watch your favorite team at the #1 place for sports, the Skybox, right above the Firehouse, Main Street, downtown Rapid City.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, also streaming right now on X. Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in tonight. Busy show tonight. A lot of fun. Thanks for being a part of it. South Dakota Sports Talk Show is live every afternoon drive on Fox Sports Radio. The Nate Brown Show streaming on X. At Nate Brown Show. So follow the show there, and you can watch us live on your phone wherever you're at tonight. At Nate Brown Show on X. I would tell you to follow this guy if you're an NBA playoffs fan. Keith Smith NBA. That's where he's at on X. At Keith Smith NBA. NBA analyst. His show is Front Office Show. Contributor for Spot Track. Talking conference finals. Keith, welcome back on. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Okay, I got to get your read on last night. I heard people say, it's over. This Western Conference, it's over. Minnesota, just can't match up. Here's how I see it. 34% from the field, 19 turnovers, 29% from 3. I think it's a bad game for the Timberwolves. I don't think it's over at all, but you tell me the matchup.
No, I'm with you. I don't think it's over either. I think Minnesota's going to be looking at that and saying, boy, there's an awful lot of things we can improve here moving forward in this series. I think the shooting will be better. I think I want to say Dante DiVincenzo and Naz Reid, 4 for 25 is what they combined for from the floor. That's got to be better going forward. They can't win if their bench doesn't, outplay the Thunder bench. It's just not going to be possible for them to win this series. And then I think Anthony Edwards said it himself right after the game. I only took 13 shots, and he said, not blaming anybody but himself, when he said, I need to do more. I need to get more shots. I need to be more engaged. So you turn those things around, you take care of the ball a little bit better. You can't have all those live ball turnovers. That's where the Thunder feast. That's how they get out and flip these games from a 5-point deficit to a 15-point lead and then forward. So I think there's definitely things the Wolves can clean up to make this a series.
Okay, so the Wolves didn't shoot well at all. I think that's how you have to win games like that. There's other factors, but you shoot 34%, you're just not going to win. I mean, high school teams aren't going to win shooting that. So I'll look at this way. Anthony Edwards said, I got shut down at the rim. So they're going to cut down the drive. They didn't score in the paint hardly at all. How do the Timberwolves attack here? Because they usually can shoot threes okay. Can they get inside at all?
Yeah, I think they can. I think part of it is you're just going to have to be a little bit more patient. Not always it's hard in the NBA. Sometimes the first shot you get is the best shot, but other times you're better off working a little bit deeper into the clock and getting in a position where you can get downhill and push forward. So I think that's certainly something that they can do. I think Julius Randle had a nice game getting to the basket and doing a lot of good things. I know he was the only guy who was hitting jump shots, but he also did a good job kind of playing his regular game as well. So I think for Anthony Edwards, it's going to be pick your spots a little bit better. The bigs got to set their screens a little bit better. That'll free things up, and they'll be able to get downhill a bit more.
Wolves down 0-1. They were still in that thing even into the fourth quarter. They were down like 9 in the fourth, and then it got away at the end. So as bad a shooting night as it was, I think the Wolves are going to be fine. We'll see Game 2 coming up tomorrow. Speaking of OKC, Keith, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's the MVP. He beats out Jokic. I made an argument tonight. Jokic is the best player in the NBA. Does that mean he should win MVP?
No, not necessarily. I think that's the difference between best and valuable. Best player doesn't always win the game, doesn't always win the series. Valuable is a little bit of a different story. We conflate them, and I'm not going to argue too much with anybody who says, hey, come on, they're really the same thing. I'm not going to fight you too hard on it, but that's the that's the difference. And I think, Nikola Jokic is the best player in the world right now. The difference is, I think, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander maybe had the best season. And if he didn't, it was really close. But, 71 out of 100 voters believed he did have the best season. So I don't have a huge problem with it. I've been saying for a couple months now that whoever wins, is going to be a deserving winner of the MVP award, and that's where we're at. And I don't think it's necessarily anything that anybody should be too up in arms over.
Do you think there is a voting fatigue? Well, we can't give it to Jokic again. Does that factor in?
It definitely does factor in. I wish it didn't, because these are individual season awards. And people turn them into a career-long narrative or a multiple-year award and those kind of things, and that's really not fair. And I heard people say you give if you give Jokic the MVP again, now you're putting him in rare air. He's up there with the Birds and Magics and Russells of the world with multiple MVP awards and all that. And we got to be really careful about doing that. And I'm just not sure I really understand that idea on it. I don't think that that's a thing that I would really be overly focused on.
Keith Smith on tonight, NBA analyst, Front Office Shows. His show on YouTube. Find him on X at Keith Smith NBA. Go to the Eastern Conference tonight. It's coming up. Knicks Pacers. Who do you think has the edge here before Game 1?
I think the Knicks in 7, and that's kind of me saying this is a 50-50 toss-up. So I'm going with the home team in 7 games. That's really how close I think this series is. I think the Pacers do a good job of countering the Knicks' strengths. They do a good job playing fast. They do a good job, really pushing offense, scoring points, and their defense has been improved. And then I think with the Knicks, they're the better defensive team when they get locked in. They do a better job when the game gets slowed down and gets played in the half court. So it's really going to be about who can step up and whose role players are better. I think Halliburton and Brunson are going to both be really good. I think Towns be really good. Siakam will probably be really good. Then it's going to be who can be the third guy for each team, who can be the fourth guy, who's going to be the unexpected role player to play big. But Knicks in 7, it was my pick because of where they are as the home team going into this series.
Okay, how big of an upset? I know Tatum goes down. You cover the Celtics. How big of an upset was Knicks over Celtics?
By the time Tatum went down, it wasn't that big of an upset. They were on their way to being up 3-1 in the series, but in the grand scheme of things, it's a pretty huge upset. It's same as the Pacers beating the Cavs. Everybody had that pegged as really going to be these two teams are going to meet in the East Finals. We were talking about as early as January that these felt like the two best teams in the Eastern Conference by a pretty wide margin, and it just goes to show if you're not healthy and you're not healthy at the right time in the NBA, you're going to struggle to get it done, and that's really what we ended up seeing. Those teams fell. I'm not taking anything away from the Pacers or Knicks because they were certainly the better teams in each series, but that's so much of what the NBA is about. You have to be healthy and you have to be good, and that if the other teams aren't healthy, that just gives you that much of an advantage to get a win.
Last one for you. Nuggets get beat out by OKC in 7. What do the Nuggets do here to run this thing back?
Yeah, first you got to decide what you're going to do with your leadership. You got to get a GM in place. You got to get a head coach permanently in place, and then after that, those guys got to sit down with ownership and say, "All right, where are we going? Can we go deeper into the tax? Are we all right with being a potential second apron team? What's that going to look like for us?" And then that'll guide you. Do you need to start thinking about moving Michael Porter Jr. or guys like that? So, those are the things I think you need to, really consider if you're the Nuggets, because you got to build out your depth a little bit more. This team has played a lot of games over the last several years because they've gone so deep on so many playoff runs. You can't trust on Jokic and Murray and Gordon to play, 80 games and then another, 20 to 25 games in the postseason. You got to really make sure that what you do, you can kind of get those guys to a place where, all right, we can give them a night off here and there and not feel like it's an automatic loss. So they got to figure out how to add some depth. And what they're allowed to do by ownership with that new leadership, that's going to go a long way to determining how they go about that.
Keith Smith in tonight. Watch him on Front Office Show on YouTube. Spot Track contributor. Knicks Pacers Game 1 coming up tonight. Keith, good to have you. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Appreciate your time. Keith Smith in tonight. National NBA analyst. Find him on Twitter at Keith Smith NBA. Great follow if you're not. At Keith Smith NBA, Spot Track contributor, his show on YouTube, Front Office Show, covering the NBA. Who's hot and who's not? If you missed it earlier, it's one of the best things we've had. Matt Kearney's going to make a Who's Hot category tonight. It's amazing. Hang on.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Hey, Sioux Falls sports fans, there's a great new sports bar in Sioux Falls, Boston's Restaurant and Sports Bar on West Russell Street in the Ramada Water Park Hotel. If you want to watch games, UFC, they've got it, wall-to-wall TVs, and the best part, great food. Gourmet pizza at Boston's, tons of wing options, great burgers, and a lot more. Bring the family, bring the team, bring your crew to the new Boston's Restaurant and Sports Bar in Sioux Falls on West Russell Street. Plus, you can order online for lunch or dinner. Just go to bostons.com.
At Dakota Bank, we're more than just a place to bank. We're your neighbors. From everyday banking to home mortgages, insurance, and trust services, we're here for every step of your financial journey. We believe in doing what's right for you because we live here, work here, and care about our communities just like you do. Go with confidence. Go with trust. Go with Dakota Bank. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Insurance and investment products are not FDIC insured, may lose value, and have no bank guarantee.
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear, Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields, we're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Slight chance for showers tonight, otherwise clear skies. Lows dip down to about 39. Northwesterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mainly clear tomorrow. Highs level off around 65. Cloudy skies expected tomorrow night. Thunderstorms likely. Lows level off around 45. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently 58.
Looks like winter is losing its grip and we are headed for warmer weather to come. How did your car make it through the winter? Hi, this is Martin from Al's D&I Repair. Winter is hard on your car, especially on the components underneath. The sand and chemicals that make winter driving safer can affect the brakes, chassis, and exhaust parts. While you have your car in for routine maintenance, we'll inspect your car to make sure you are set for spring and summer travels.
Al's D&I Repair on Sturgis Road. Call 348-1447 to set up your appointment.
Isn't it time for new windows and doors from Renewal by Andersen? With mortgage interest rates where they are right now, so many people are renovating their own homes rather than moving. And there's never been a better time to invest in awesome new windows and doors from Renewal by Andersen. Renewal by Andersen's legendary windows have been the best you can get for decades, but many people don't know that Renewal by Andersen also has incredible new ensemble entry doors and the entire Acclaim line of replacement windows, which are winning rave reviews from clients. Renewal by Andersen's windows, ensemble entry doors, and the entire Acclaim line of replacement windows will make your home so much more energy efficient on cold winter nights or hot summer days. Those new windows and doors will make your home so much more quiet and secure. We hear that all the time. Please visit RBARapidCity.com to schedule a free consultation. Be sure to ask about our great offers and really attractive financing options right now. Renewal by Andersen Windows and Entry Doors. Isn't it time?
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in. Wednesday show's been a lot of fun. Great guests across the board tonight. Clinton Yates from ESPN's Around the Horn. That show winding down this Friday after 23 years on the air on ESPN. Clinton Yates on. Ryan O'Halloran, NFL writer, covers the Bills. Brian Henson popped in. Some Keith Smith NBA Wolves action. The Nate Brown Show podcast, where you find all the great guests. Thanks for stopping by. Who's hot and who's not? Let's do this. Brought to you by the Pizza Ranch, home of everyone's favorite buffet. And by Who's Hot tonight, it's an IndyCar special. Matt Kearney, the producer of the Nate Brown Show, on his quest to get me to plug in and watch the Indy 500, actually got IndyCar driver Connor Daly. I think that's Kearney's favorite driver, right? Got Connor Daly to send me this today.
Nate, what's up? It's Connor Daly here. Be driving the Indianapolis 500 this weekend. I hear you need convincing somehow to watch the greatest spectacle in racing, where one in every 1,100 people in the entire country will be at on Sunday. Not entirely sure why anyone would want to miss out on such a spectacular event. It's going to be one of the greatest races of all time. Sold out crowd. Over 400,000 people in there, so why not? Yeah, why not? Let's get on it. And if you're not there physically, got to watch it on Fox. I mean, it's going to be must-see television, and cheer for the purple and orange AM/PM car. But yeah, I think the only choice is everyone else will be doing it, so might as well watch it on Sunday and cheer for the 76 car.
That's Connor Daly trying to get me to watch the Indy 500. I mean, is that going to work? I'll find out. You'll find out tomorrow, okay? Come back for more. A great effort by Matt Kearney with the Who's Hot, getting Connor Daly to do that message. Good stuff in our Pizza Ranch Who's Not tonight. Another IndyCar special. I hate to tell you, this isn't Connor Daly, but Roger Penske, big race guy, right? He runs the show. Penske has some trouble with his teams. They've had some modifications that are against the rules. See, I'm learning all this. And modifications, that was what happened. So their drivers got pushed to the back for Sunday. Roger Penske fired team president, IndyCar managing director, IndyCar general manager in the wake of the Indy 500 scandal. Penske having to fire some main guys. That's interesting. Now, what's going to happen? One of the guys, Newgarden, he's the back-to-back champ, trying to win 3 in a row. He's going to go all the way to the back in our Pizza Ranch Who's Not. See, I'm starting to learn. Penske's the owner of the three-car team, IndyCar, Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the Indy 500. Penske's won the Indy 500 20 times. 20 times. Is it going to happen again? He had to fire all of these guys. See, that's one thing. I will tell you. See, you're getting some storylines now. You got some controversy. You got Connor Daly requesting that I actually watch the Indy 500. I mean, you're never going to get that. So I will make my decision. We'll sleep on it tonight, okay? It's a big decision. Thanks for listening to the Nate Brown Show. It is South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Fun show tonight. A lot of great guests across the board. We will be back tomorrow on a Thursday with South Dakota Sports Talk Show, and the podcast going up right now.
Spring into big saving. Have what you need. They coming over 40 style.